Hi, I'm Bob Mahoney at Mary Mahoney's Old French House Restaurant in Biloxi. I started advertising on Channel 13 over 20 years ago, and everywhere I go, people are always commenting on my commercials and the jokes I've told over the year. So we thought we'd put together a collection of some of my most requested jokes, so sit back and enjoy.
One of the oldest homes in America is one of the best restaurants in America. Lobster Giorgio, Surf and Turf, Lump Crab Meat St. Patrick, Shrimp and Lump Crab Meat Melba, Sisters of the Sea au gratin, Stuffed Flounder.
Mary Mahoney's signature dishes, they'll take your taste buds for a ride, and where we're always on top of everything.
Mary Mahoney's Old French House, Biloxi.
Did you know that women say 30,000 words a day while men only say 15,000 words a day? Women talk twice as much in a day's time what a man does. That's what the wife told her husband. He said, "Why is that, hon?" She said, "Because we have to repeat everything." And you know what he said? What'd you say? There's 3 phases in life for people. First there's youth, then there's middle age, and then there's, boy, you're looking good. 60-year-old class reunion. Widow and widower showed up, went to school together, and they talking. One thing led to another. He asked her to marry him. She said yes. At night he wakes up, can't remember what she said. He calls her up the next morning and says, "I'm so embarrassed. I remember asking you to marry me. I can't remember what you said." She said, "I'm so glad you called." She said, "I remember saying yes," she said, "but I couldn't remember who asked me." Did you hear what happened in church Sunday? It was awful. The devil walked in and told everybody to get out. Everybody got out. This one lady, she didn't move. Devil went up to her and says, "Hey, don't you know who I am?" She said, "Yeah, I know who you are." Devil said, "Aren't you afraid of me?" She said, "No, I'm not." He said, "Why not?" She said, "I lived with your brother for 25 years. A couple's walking around heaven, and the wife said, "Boy, it sure is nice up here." And her husband said, "Yeah, if you wouldn't have fed me that oatmeal every morning, we'd have got here a lot sooner." You know, there's age barriers we go through in life. You know, you're going on 5, you're going to be 16, you become 21, you turn 30, you're pushing 40, you reach 50, you make it to 60, you hit 70, and then you don't care. Boudreaux come out the woods, got a big blue heron over his shoulder. Thibodeau said, "Boudreaux, what you done did, son?" He said, "Well, I killed this big blue heron." He says, "You going to jail. That's an endangered bird." He said, "Why'd you kill him?" Said, "He tastes good." Said, "What'd he taste like?" He said, "A bald eagle." I had these 4 fraternity brothers. They said, you know, "Hey, every 10 years, why don't we get together and meet and reminisce, you know?" So at 40, they said, "Let's go to Mary Mahoney's. They got cute waitresses." At 50, they said, "Let's go to Mary Mahoney's. They got real good food." At 60, they said, "Let's go to Mary Mahoney's. It's nice and peaceful." At 70, they said, "Let's go to Mary Mahoney's. They got good handicap accessibility." At 80, they said, "Let's go to Mary Mahoney's." One guy said, "Why you want to go there?" He said, "Because we ain't never been there before." About that lady wanted to marry a millionaire, an actor, a preacher, an undertaker. Her friend said, "Girl, why in the world you want to marry a millionaire, an actor, a preacher, an undertaker?" She said, "1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, and 4 to go." Couple riding down the road. He's mad at her, she's mad at him. He sees a herd of donkeys over there. He says, "Some of your relatives?" She says, "Yeah, but only by marriage." There's 3 types of people in this world. Those that watch things happen, those that make things happen, and those that wonder what in the world just happened. Little boy pulling his red wagon right in front of church, wheel comes off. Little boy says, "Damn!" Preacher's right there. Says, "Son, you should not say damn. You should say good Lord." He said, "Yes, sir." Preacher put the wheel back on the wagon. Little boy went about 10 feet and the wheel come off. He hollers, "Good Lord!" That wheel jumped up off that ground and went right back on that wagon. And that preacher said, "Damn!" Did you know that senior citizens have a lot of mineral value to them? They have silver in their hair, gold in their teeth, precious stones in their kidneys, gas in their stomach, and lead in their feet. And they asked the little senior lady, "Did she ever think about the hereafter?" She said, "Sure I do." She said, "Every time I go in the kitchen, I'm wondering what I'm in hereafter." Little boy wanted to get an automobile for his birthday. Daddy said, "Son, you can get the car 2 things. Read the Bible, get a haircut." "I'll do it, Daddy. I'll read that Bible, I'll get a haircut." Come time to get the call, little boy said, Daddy, I'm ready for the call. He said, son, I thought you read the Bible every night. I was real proud of you about that. He said, but it's obvious you did not get a haircut. Daddy, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. He says, you know, I read in that Bible where Jesus had long hair. Daddy said, yeah, you're right. And if you'd have kept on reading, you'd have read he walked everywhere he went too. Two guys walking their dogs up in New York City. One's got a German Shepherd, one's got a Chihuahua. So they walk by this restaurant and say, hey, why don't we go in there and get something to eat? He said, we can't go in here at this restaurant with these dogs. He said, look, just put your sunglasses on and we'll walk in there and tell them they're service dogs, okay? So anyway, so the first guy with the German Shepherd walks in and says, hey, you can't come in here with this dog. He said, this is my service dog, I'm blind. Oh, okay, come on over here. So the next guy comes in with that Chihuahua. The guy says, hey, you can't come in here with that dog. Hey, this is my service dog, I'm blind. He said, that's a Chihuahua. He says, is that what they gave me? I was standing on the corner the other day and a guy come up to me and asked me if my dog bites. I said, no, my dog don't bite. He reached down there and pet that dog, dog bit him. So I thought you told me your dog don't bite. That ain't my dog. Boudreaux and Clotilde getting married. Clotilde's walking down the aisle on her wedding day. And out of the corner of her eye, she sees Boudreaux's golf clubs. She says, Boudreaux, what in the world is your golf clubs doing up in this church on our wedding day? He said, this ain't gonna take all day, is it? That Mahoney guy speeding down the highway, cop pulled him over, said, let me see your driver's license. He showed him his driver's license. What's that in your center console right there, Mr. Mahoney? He said, that's my water. Cop said, that looks like wine. He said, he done did it again. He done changed that water into wine on me. A friend of mine was telling me on his dad's tombstone, he has, remember me as you pass by, as you are now, once was I, as I am now, soon you'll be, so enjoy your life and follow me. 75-year-old widow had shocking news tell her 3 girlfriends, and the shocking news was she was getting married. One of her girlfriends wanted to know if he had a lot of money. She said no. The other girlfriend wanted to know if he was good looking. She said no. Third girlfriend said if he doesn't have any money, he's not good looking. Why in the world are you marrying him? She said he can drive at night. Boudreaux done died. Clotilde found $20,000 in his coat pocket. She called up her sister and said, I done found $20,000 of Boudreaux's money in his coat pocket. She said, what you done to do with it? She says, I'm gonna spend it. She called her back 3 days later, said, you spend that money? She said, I spent every nickel of it. Said, what'd you buy? $4,000 went to his funeral, and that other $16,000, I bought a real nice memorial stone. She said, that was kind of expensive for a memorial stone, wasn't it? She says, oh no, it's a heck of a diamond. Guy went to the doctor the other day, telling the doctor all his problems, getting ready to leave. Said, Doc, I got another problem. He said, what's that? He said, my wife, she don't hear too well. I said, how bad is it? He said, well, I don't know. He said, well, ask her a question from 20 feet, 10 feet, and 2 feet, see where she picks you up from. 20 feet, hun, what's for dinner? Nothing. 10 feet, hun, what's for dinner? Nothing. 2 feet, hun, what's for dinner? She says, turkey for the 3rd time. About the little old maid said when she died, she refused to have any male pallbearers. Her friend said, why is that? She said, ain't none of them took me out when I was living. I'll be darned, they're going to take me out when I die. 2 baseball players played ball every day. Didn't miss a day they didn't play ball. One day they coming out of church and they bumped into one another. Said, you know, I hate to go to heaven and not playing ball. The other guy said, I ain't going if they ain't playing. He said, let's make a deal. Whoever gets to heaven first, find out what's going on, let the other guy on the ground know. Sure enough, Joe died, went to heaven, called down to earth to old Bob. Hey, Bob, hey, Joe, they playing ball up there? He said, I got good news and bad news up here in heaven. He said, give me the good news first. Says, they playing ball in heaven. He said, amen, brother, what's the bad news? He said, you pitching tomorrow. Boudreaux was standing on the corner and Father Arsenault come up on him and said, Boudreaux, you need to come get in God's army. He said, I am in God's army. He says, well, the only time I see you in church is on Christmas and Easter. He says, Father, I'm in the Secret Service. Boudreaux and Clotilde sitting on the back porch one night looking at the moon. Clotilde said, Boudreaux, that moon sure is pretty up there. He says, yeah, it sure is. Clotilde said, Boudreaux, I can't wait till we go to Florida on our vacation. Clotilde says, Boudreaux, I wonder what's closer, Florida or the moon? Boudreaux says, duh, you can't see Florida from here, can you? Mahoney and Maloney were building a rocket ship to go to the moon, right? So they called NASA up and said, hey, you need to come over here and look at our rocket ship. So they come over and looked at it and says, you can't go nowhere in this thing. Says, why not? Says, this thing's made out of wood. Says, you get up in that atmosphere and that sun will burn it up. He says, duh, we going at night. Boudreaux and Thibodeau went into that Keith Fayard store on Pops Ferry, And Boudreaux grabbed a 12-pack of that Budweiser. Clotilde said, put that back. We can't afford that. Boy, put it back. Boy, he's hot. She goes down a couple hours. She grabs a jar of that facial cream. He said, what's that? She said, it's facial cream. He said, put that back. We can't afford that either. She said, but it makes my face look so beautiful. He says, so does that Budweiser for half the price. Three phases in life for men. You believe in Santa Claus, you are Santa Claus. You know what the last one is? You look like Santa Claus. And then there's three phases in life for men and women. There's youth, there's middle age, and then there's, boy, you're looking good. Guy came home, told his wife he's quitting golf. Says, why are you quitting? He says, I can't see where the ball's going. Why don't you take your daddy out there? He said, Daddy's 95 years old. She said, yeah, but he can see real well. He said, okay, I'll take Daddy out there. So he goes out there, first tee, he hits the ball. He says, Daddy, you see where it went? He said, yeah, I got it. So they get down the fairway. He says, okay, Daddy, where's it at? He said, I don't know. He says, Daddy, I thought you saw where it went. He said, yeah, but I forgot. Two couples, they having dinner at the house. Two men over in this room, two ladies in that room. This guy's telling this guy how he went to a restaurant the other night, best restaurant he ever been to in his life. I mean, atmosphere and everything. He says, what was the name of it? He said, what was the name of it? He said, what's that flower? It's got a stem on it. It's got them thorns coming out. It's got them red petals. He said, a rose. He said, yeah. Hey, Rose, what restaurant did we go to the other night? Boudreaux was driving in California. He pulled in the filling station there. He said, want to know how far it was to San Jose? Guy said, there ain't no San Jose out here, sir. He said, what's this, S-A-N-J-O-S-E? He said, that's San Jose. He said, how you get Jose out of Jose? He says, look at here, anytime you're out here in California, you see a J, you turn it into an H, like, you know, Jose. He said, okay, I can do that. He said, how long you to be here in California? He said, to about hoon or hula. Clotilde done had her set of twins. She called up Clarice. Clarice, come on over here. I want you to name this beautiful little baby boy and little baby girl. He said, I'll be so happy to, Clotilde. He said, what you want to name this beautiful little girl? Why don't we call her Denise? She said, what you want to name this beautiful little baby boy? He said, why don't we call him the nephew? Myself, Big O, and Keith Fay are walking in New Orleans one day. Keith Fayard fell down, broke his leg. I called 911, said my friend Keith Fayard just fell down, broke a leg. We need an ambulance here right away. She said, sir, where are you? I said, we're on Chapatula Street. She said, could you spell that for me, please? Hold on, wait a minute. We're gonna drag him to Oak Street. If you want to be happy for a day, you eat a big steak. If you want to be happy for a week, you take a vacation. If you want to be happy for the rest of your life, you play golf or go fishing, all right? St. Peter's having a good deed day up in heaven. If you did good deeds on earth, you come straight through the pearly gates. First guy shows up, angel said, what good deeds you do on earth? He said, I gave one guy a quarter one time. He said, you do anything else? He said, I gave another guy in a wheelchair a quarter. He said, you do anything more than that? No. Well, let me go talk to St. Peter. He went and told St. Peter, this guy's trying to get in heaven, and the only thing he did on earth, he gave one guy a quarter, give another guy a quarter. St. Peter said, go give him his 50 cents back and tell him to go to hell. 5 crows sitting on a fence, you shot and killed one. How many you got left?
4.
You think them crows gonna hang around and get shot? My dog, he don't have any legs. You know what we call him?
No.
It don't matter, he ain't coming, okay? Simmer down, it's just a joke, okay? Big O sent Keith Fayard over to Baton Rouge to get a big bull. So on the way there, he broke down. So he's got to send Big O a message. So he goes to the Western Union, said, I got to send him a message. That'd be $5. Said, I ain't got 50 cents. Said, you send one word. He said, oh, Lord, what am I saying? One word, okay, comfortable. He said, how's he going to know how to come get the bull by comfortable? Well, Big O, he talks real slow. Comfortable. That pretty blue water in Florida, there ain't nothing in it but seaweed. That old muddy water out there, shrimp, crabs, oysters, bukus of fish. You know what the moral of the story is? There's a lot of loving going on in the mud. You know, whatever happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. Well, there's a lot of loving going on in that mud. Give me that old muddy water. Boudreaux and Thibodeau out hunting in the woods. Well, they got lost. Boudreaux tells Thibodeau to shoot 3 times up in there and somebody would come find him. He did it, nobody came. 2 hours later, he did it again, nobody came. So about it's getting dark, he says, okay, you better shoot 3 more times because it's getting dark. He says, yeah, I know, because I ain't got the 3 iris left. Big O had a sugar cane farm down in South Louisiana, so the Labor Department guy wanted to come talk to him about his employees. He said, sure. So he said, how many employees you got? I said, I got 5. What do they make? 2 guys work 40 hours a week, they make $600. 2 guys work 30 hours a week, they make $450. So then I got this nitwit. This nitwit works 80 hours a week, he only makes $100 a week. That Labor Department guy says, I need to talk to that guy you call a nitwit. He said, you are talking to him. Big O had a sugar cane farm down in South Louisiana, so the Labor Department guy wanted to come talk to him about his employees. He said, sure. So he said, how many employees you got? I said, I got 5. What do they make? 2 guys work 40 hours a week, they make $600. 2 guys work 30 hours a week, they make $450. So then I got this nitwit. This nitwit works 80 hours a week, he only makes $100 a week. That Labor Department guy says, I need to talk to that guy you call a nitwit. He said, you are talking to him. Deal and Dill's cutting Richard Coleman's hair. He says, Richard, watch this little boy. He comes in here. I put 2 quarters in one hand, a dollar bill in another hand, and asked him which one he wants. He always takes the 2 quarters. Watch, here he comes. Okay, Johnny, which ones you want? You want the 2 quarters? You want the dollar? Give me the 2 quarter. Out the door he goes, right? Richard goes down the street, says, that little boy said, why you always take the 2 quarters? You never take the dollar bill. He said, if I ever take the dollar bill, the game's over. Thanks for listening to my corny jokes over the past 30 years, and it's been a pleasure serving y'all for the last 50 years.